I had shot Slaves of Hollywood, which was the low-budget feature I co-directed in 1993. And Ophir Finkelthal, who was your sound mixer on that, also went to USC, invited me to this screening you had at Paramount.
This is with Omaha the movie.
So I shook hands with you there. That's where we initially met. I think I started going somehow to the Versailles dinners. And then you made Open House, and I was writing at Venice Magazine. So I left LA in the middle of the night in 2012 to the motel, and I was there full time. And it was around 2016, about 4 years into that, you showed up. Trump was elected president, I guess it was last night, at around 3 o'clock in the morning. So today, technically, so this is the day that Trump became president. From Greenport, there's a ferry that goes to Shelter Island, which is about 15 minutes. And so went over to meet Jules, and the news of Trump's election, I think, was settling in on Jules. But he seemed fairly calm about it. And as he said to us, after we had, you showed him some clips of the movie, which he liked, we survived the blacklist, guys. We'll survive this also.
There was no possible concept of guilt in Trump. Nixon always felt guilt.
And then he spoke to us a little bit about Nixon and Watergate, and he had famously done a book of cartoons about Richard Nixon.
Once I had something to work with post-Watergate, and that was the decay of that face and the body, which had nothing to do with the head, and how that moved badly together. Then I think I got a very distinctive Nixon that I was very proud of.
When we came back to Silver Sands, I suggested that no one had ever shot a feature film at Silver Sands, and maybe we could come up with something, or maybe you could come up with something. I think it was about 3 or 4 months later, you called me up and sort of pitched me the bare bones of 18 and a half. A lot of it was there.
Really, I was interning for Dan back on his last film, Bernard and Hewing, pre-production of that, in the garage. The whole summer in that garage.
Are you kidding me?
Damn
You
it.
did that shit up here?
And then he called me when I graduated USC. He said, I have a location, I have a log line. 3 Days of the Condor meets Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, but a little funnier than either of those. So obviously that sounded interesting. I didn't know a lick about Watergate, so I said, well, let me go research and everything like that. Since I'm from Huntington, New York, on Long Island, involved visiting Terry and his family out at the Silver Sands Motel in Greenport. The best case scenario when you're researching a movie is to experience the place where you'll be shooting it, inform the writing of the film. It also happened that a family member of mine owned a restaurant a mile away from Terry's Motel in the town of Greenport. So, as Dan likes to say, you can make a 1-location movie, but if you have a 2-location movie, it feels a little more massive, I guess, in terms of India scale. 2 is, double the 1. Without too much effort, we were able in these 2 locations to fashion a 1974 looking world. The entire film takes place in this car, believe it or not.
I first found out about 18 and a half when my agent sent me the script and I read it. I thought it was a really tight script.
You guys sent me a script and I read it and I was like, this is a really cool idea.